Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. Velasquez, Health Officer for Spokane County. And today with me, I have John Griffin, whom I'm going to explain why he's here. And it's something that I hope you're paying attention because we do have an important period of time that just started, and it's not for a good reason. So, what we do know is that the time period between Memorial Day and Labor Day, it's called the 100 deadliest days in the summer on Washington roads. And John, who's the manager of the Spokane County Target Zero,
Yes, sir.
okay? And you're going to hear why it's called Target Zero. He's going to tell us why is it that this is important. And I know that you're not thinking about, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere. I don't want to worry about things. But unfortunately, we do have to worry about it. So thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And I mentioned Target Zero. Can you tell us what Target Zero is?
Sure. Target Zero, the best way to explain it, it's a philosophy that drives our traffic safety plan and the work we do with Washington Traffic Safety
Okay.
to educate people about roadway safety. And the philosophy is, if I ask the question, how many of your family members is it acceptable to die in a car crash this year, your answer would be zero. And my answer would be zero. And if the answer for you is zero and the answer for me is zero, then the answer for everybody must be zero. And so that's our goal, a long-time goal of getting to zero fatalities on our roadways by 2030. And that's basically what Target Zero is and represents.
Okay. So by 2030, the target is zero
Zero.
or negative zero, absolute zero.
Absolute zero.
Okay, just to be clear,
Yes.
mathematically. So I guess the first questions that come up in everybody's mind is, we drive all the time.
Right.
Why is it that this period of time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is so prominent?
That's a great question. I think there are many factors, so it's not just an easy answer. Kids get out of school, and so you have kids going to parks, riding their bikes, driving to and from work, doing things that kids do in the summertime. Families are doing more vacation and travel. You just have everybody out doing summer activities, and I think when the weather's bad and the roads are slick, we think we need to be cautious.
Right.
We lose a little bit of that cautiousness when the weather changes, but the risks are still there. Risks of impaired drivers, risks of driving distracted, risks of speeding. You still need to be cautious even though the roads are dry and the weather's nicer.
Okay. So combination, a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of pets
Yep.
out on the streets, enjoying the beautiful weather. We're all going somewhere because it's beautiful. And because the roads are not icy, we're not thinking about being a little bit more cautious. And that's why we see that increase during this period of time.
Because we still see people driving distracted. About 20% of our fatalities involve distraction, about 28% involve speed, and over half involve impairment. So that's why impairment's kind of a prominent factor. It accounts for, just in our county alone, half, and that number stands up pretty much statewide. Half of our fatalities are involved to impaired drivers. Another factor that's not to pin it all on them, but it's a factor to be aware of. When kids are out of school and they're driving, they represent about 14% of our driving population, but they're overrepresented in the fatal crashes. That doesn't mean they're necessarily the at-fault driver, but they're involved in about a third of our fatal crashes. So people are going to make mistakes when they're out there. We just have to drive with the awareness of people aren't a problem. I'm looking out for people. And when we don't do that, bad things happen on the roads.
Okay. So you mentioned impairment. Let's. What do you mean by impairment? What are you talking about?
It could be alcohol impairment. It could be substance impairment.
Okay.
I know a lot of people take prescription medications and they're not thinking that they shouldn't be driving while taking that prescription medication, but many prescription medications will have a warning label that says you're not to operate heavy machinery or vehicles, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that. We just automatically assume I don't do substances, so that's just talking about alcohol and I'm not drinking.
Right.
Well, there are other ways to be impaired and be a danger to yourself and others.
I'm glad you clarified that, because when we say impairment, immediately people go to something like alcohol.
Yeah.
But as you pointed out, there's medication. You could have had a procedure this
Absolute-
morning.
Yes.
And you may not be able to drive for 24 hours.
Yes.
So there are a lot of reasons why we can be impaired, and I think it's important for us to be aware of that, and always consult with your provider in terms of
Yes.
your medication, or if you're going to have a procedure. It could be a diagnostic procedure. It could be minor surgery. I mean, there's so many things that are done routinely now within an hour, and then they send you home.
Right.
But if you were under, then you're going to be impaired. So we need to
Yes.
make sure we talk about that. So the second thing, when you hear about impairment, people think about, well, law enforcement is out there and they'll take care of it, which they do a great job. But what can we, any one of us, do to prevent having an impaired driver on the road?
Great question. Law enforcement is out there, and they do a great job. Making an arrest, that makes the community safer for that period of time.
Right.
What it doesn't do is go upstream and solve the reason why that person was out driving impaired. One of the things we do in this, in Spokane's community, is we have DUI courts. We have a city-run DUI court, municipal, and a county DUI court. The county one is a mandatory court. The city one's is a voluntary court. You have prosecutors involved, defense attorneys involved, judges involved, mental health and substance abuse professionals, and law enforcement. And then the people that are involved in that court, they also have family and friends as a support network. And so it's a program where we try to solve the reason why somebody was out drinking and driving. Because if we can fix that, then they're not going to be out dealing with law enforcement. Law enforcement's not going to use their resources. If there's a crash, they're maybe not going to be involved in taking up medical resources. So that's a holistic approach. It's a different approach. The county program's been around a while. The city one's been around since 2017. And I hear lots of positive stories
Right.
from law enforcement on the successes and their interaction with the public. And that's maybe a different side of law enforcement that we don't think of, where they're trying to solve the problem. Another program we have is called Teens in the Driver's Seat, where we try to it's a free program started by Texas A&M Traffic Safety Institute. We brought it to Washington in 2021, and we're trying to get it in the school. It's a free program, doesn't cost anything, it's peer-to-peer. I may have a lot of experience, but if I'm talking to somebody 16 or 17 years old and they don't know me, I don't have a lot of credibility.
Right.
But your peers have credibility, and it's designed to have them talk about the 5 main reasons we see over and over again young people are in crashes, which is not wearing your seatbelt properly or at all, speeding, distraction, impairment, and then drowsy driving or nighttime driving. And so they do activities in the school. The peers tell them why they shouldn't be doing that. The school can earn some money for doing the program, and then there's an app card that the kids can get gift cards. So it's all positive reinforcement, which science says is a better way than fear-based
Right.
reinforcement. And so it's a great program. At the time, Texas was the only state in the union that had a declining rate of injuries and deaths to young people. So that's why we brought it here.
So I'm going to go back to that in a second, but first of all, I want to say thank you to our law enforcement, because
Yes.
they do a good job. And one of the things that we don't think about, our members of the law enforcement community do a lot of education
Yes,
and a
they
lot
do.
of topics. So we want to say thank you for that. But you alluded to the fact about the individual, and it is important for us to be aware. It's important for us to know our limits. But let's say I'm a family member, or I'm a neighbor, or we're going to have a barbecue tomorrow. What can we, the average community member, do for those around us to make sure that we don't have impaired drivers on the road?
That's another great question. And I think one of the main important mind shifts we have to partake is a lot of times our country was founded on rights, my rights.
Right?
Well, we have other people, our neighbors, our family, they have rights too. And so how do I look out for myself and others around there? And one way that I've done it, and I would suggest others, if I'm going to drink, I just decide I'm not driving that night.
Right.
So that's one step any individual can take. If you're hosting like a barbecue or a function, you could just have it no alcohol. If you're going to have alcohol, you could just, you're the host, you could set the rule. When you come in, we're just going to throw all keys in the basket. If you've had too much to drink, we're not going to let you drive home. We've got beds set up. You know, you're our friends. We invited you over. We're happy to have you stay the night. And we'll have breakfast in the morning. If you're a passenger, we need to empower passengers to make intervention steps. I don't drink often, so often I'll go out and I won't be drinking, and somebody who's driving drinking. I've offered many times to drive since
Right.
they've been drinking, and I've never been turned down. But if we've never thought about what we're going to do in a situation until that situation happens, then we get stuck. What do I do? And I think as a parent, I would have conversations with my kids about, if this happens, what would you do? And help them work through acceptable solutions before they're ever in the situation. Because no one likes to feel awkward or unprepared or inadequate. And preparing kids and others to deal with those situations before they happen, I think, is one of the best ways to make our community safer.
Got it. So basically normalizing that conversation. It's not a
Absolutely.
punitive conversation. It's like, hey, we're going to go to this thing, I'll drive.
Yeah, yeah,
Or if I have a glass of wine, can you drive?
absolutely.
Right? And making sure we have those conversations, and designated driver gets an extra burger at the barbecue, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of like the rule.
Or hot dog.
Or hot dog, yeah, depending on their choice. So it seems like we all can take a part of this responsibility to see if we really hit that target zero. What year are we in? 2026?
Yeah.
It would be great if we did it by next year.
It would be fantastic if we did it by next year. And I've had conversations with people that question whether we're going to get there by 2030 or when we're going to get there. That doesn't make the goal any less something to strive for.
Right.
It's the only goal that we should be striving for. And whether we make it, I mean, there are counties in Washington that have had 0 fatalities in a year. So it is doable. We just have to challenge ourselves. What are we doing that we could do better? What are we doing that we could be different? And one thing I'll say is leaders, like myself, I don't have a market on all the good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So coalitions and neighborhood councils, they bring people together that make traffic safety a focus of their neighborhood or their coalition. People can get involved there and bring their ideas and work on something they're passionate about with other people and make our community safer.
Wonderful. So if, I know that we showed the website for
What?
Target Zero?
Target Zero, yes.
Is that a place people can go and get some information if they're interested, or?
Absolutely, lots of information on that website. There's data dashboards, which has been something that we've done in the last few years. It's been a great addition because before sometimes information was hard to find. And then once you're made aware of the situation, then I think that's where conversations lead to, how do I get involved? What
Right.
can I do to make a difference in my community, in my neighborhood, in my family, whatever it is? Because I can't solve it all, law enforcement can't solve it all. We as a community, it's a public health issue. We have people dying on our roads just trying to get to work and on vacations and to parks to play, and we shouldn't be losing those lives in that manner.
Well, thank you. I want to say thank you to John for coming. I want to say
Thank you,
thank
Dr.
you to Target Zero. And I think we learned a few things. And it's just a matter of being aware and aware of your surroundings and aware of those around you. As you pointed out, when people come over, they're usually friends or family. So
Yeah.
we do care.
We do.
And part of that caring is, you know what? And I'm not going to say commercial names of transportation companies that could take you home because I don't want to do a commercial. But
Right.
nowadays we have so many options.
We have options.
And one of the things I've seen, at least in the area, in the circles I gravitate, is a lot of people are taking those there and from, so they
Yes.
don't have to worry. If they're going to have a glass of wine, they don't have to worry about it. So I will encourage people to take advantage of the opportunities that we have. Carpool, take a bike, take a ride.
Yes.
You know, and if you had a drink, well, I'm sure somebody else in the party can drive for you
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
take you home and drop you off. So I'm going to say thank you again. Thank you to our friends in law enforcement. Thank you to everybody in our community, because I know you're going to do your best to make sure that we do hit this target 0 by 2030 or earlier. We are competitive in this community. We're always going to be number 1. But we want to be on this one 0, not number 1.
Absolutely.
We're going to be 0. 0 is the goal, it's not 1. So with that, stay safe, stay well, drive safely, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.